everybody. I'm out weeding today. I have these raised flower beds. Really, they're for lettuce. That's a little bit late to get in the ground, but I'm going to try it anyway. But it made me think of some stories that I thought I would share with you because I can work and talk, right? So growing up, my grandmother always had a garden. And her garden was huge. It was so long that as a child, I can remember thinking, I can see where the earth curves and it goes down. Her gardens were big. She always canned all the vegetables from it, and it was just a lot of work. So for the longest time, I didn't have a garden when I grew up because I remembered all of the work in my grandmother's garden would set for hours and weed. And then the worst part was green beans. To fix green beans or to pick green beans, we would get together as a whole family and I would start pulling the green beans off of the vines. Grandmother always had us the first time set on buckets, and you had a bucket in front of you and you pulled the bushy plant up and got all the green beans off of it and put them in your bucket, and you just moved down the row. But she was meticulous. She would come by and check your work and make sure you were getting all of the green beans that were ready. And it was hours in the hot sun. And I could just remember being hot and the sun beating down on you and the bugs, and then the bean plants were a bit velvety. They would stick to your skin. I hated the whole process. But it wasn't over after that, because then we came into the shade, because I was little, we didn't have air conditioning, so there was no place to get out of the heat of the day except outside in the shade. So we take all of our green beans outside in the shade and pour them on a big tarp and then set and snap them. So first you would string the beans, so you had to pop the end off and pull the string out, and then around and pop the other end off and pull the string out and break it into 3 pieces. And you would do that until your hands hurt, and the little green beans would leave little divots in your fingers from snapping. Oh, everybody could do that. Some jobs at my grandmother's house you could get out of, and some you could not get out of. And we could never get out of pulling green beans because it was a job for everybody. You could usually get out of picking up hay bales if they had enough help, but never ever did I get out of picking green beans. I didn't like it. So, but the green beans were really good. I have to tell you that. The green beans were really good. But that is my story about working at my grandmother's house and picking green beans. Oh, what a job. Thank you guys. I was just outside talking to you all about picking green beans at my grandmother's house when I noticed this big tree. Let me turn my camera around. You can see him. He is a green ash. He has no leaves on him. I think my green ash tree might be dead. And last year, I noticed that only half of the tree had leaves, and I don't see any leaves this year. So we may have to hire someone to cut it down, which is really sad, but it was a green ash, and I know they only live about 20 years. 25 years, I think, and I planted it about 20 years ago, so it has served its time, but still, I will miss its shade when I sit in my swing. I'll have to think of another tree to plant there. So, well, if you know anybody who can cut down a tree, give me a call. Bye.